በስፖርቱ መከባበር ቀዳሚው ነገር ነው። በዚህ ክፍል አራቱም ማለትም የእግር ኳስ፣ የመረብ ኳስ፣ የቅርጫት ኳስ እና የእጅ ኳስን መጠነኛ በሆነ መልኩ በዚህ ተንቀሳቃሽ ምስል ወይም ቪዲዮ ትማራላችሁ። ኳስ የመንዳት፣ የመቆጣጠር፣ የመቀበል፣ የማቀበል፣ የማንጠርና የልክ ክህሎቶች በተለያዩ የእንቅስቃሴ አካላዊ እና አእምሮአዊ ጥበብንና ትኩረት የሚፈልጉ የጨዋታ አይነቶች። እነዚህ መሰረታዊ ነገሮች ናቸው። የኳስ ጨዋታዎች በሜዳ ላይ የሚተገበሩ የልጆችን የክህሎት ደረጃ እና የአካል ቅንጅት ብቃት ለማወቅ የሚጠቅሙ የስፖርት አይነቶች ሲሆኑ እንደ እግር ኳስ፣ ቅርጫት ኳስ፣ የመረብ ኳስ እና የእጅ ኳስ እንቅስቃሴዎች ውስጥ የመንዳት፣ ማንጠርና የልክ ክህሎት የመሳሰሉትን የሚያካትት ነው። ኳስ መንዳት አንድ ተጫዋች ኳስን በእግር ወደሚፈልግበት አቅጣጫ ካለምንም ችግር በመቆጣጠር የመንዳት ክህሎት ሲሆን በተጨማሪም የቡድኑን የማጥቃት ደረጃ ከፍ ለማድረግም የሚጠቅም እንቅስቃሴ ነው። ኳስን በመቆጣጠር ማንጠር መሰረታዊ የቅርጫት ኳስና የእጅ ኳስ ጨዋታ ክህሎት ሲሆን በቅርጫት ኳስ ጨዋታ ጊዜ ፍጥነታችንን በመቀነስ ተግባራዊ እናደርገዋለን። በመረብ ኳስ ጨዋታ ደግሞ የመጀመሪያው የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ ኳስ በመለጋት ይጀመራል። ተማሪዎች፣ ይህ የምትመለከቱት አትሌት እንዴት ኳሷን በእግሩ ስር በማስገባት ከመሬቱ ጋር እንዴት እንደሚቆጣጠር በደንብ ኳሷን ከተቆጣጠረ ወደ ፈለገው መንቀሳቀስና ግብ ማስቆጠር ይችላል ማለት ነው።
You want to control the ball as close to your body as possible. Over the shoulder.
ከትከሻ በላይ የተመታውን ኳስ በአይኑ ኳሷን በመከታተል ኳሱን ተቆጣጥሮ ወደ ጎል ይቀይረዋል። ይህ ማለት ለጎሉ ትልቁን ሥራ ያቀለለው አትሌቱ ኳሷን በመቆጣጠሩ ነው ማለት ነው።
Stop.
በእግራችን በላይኛው የጣት የእግራችን ክፍል እንዴት አትሌቱ እንደሚቆጣጠረው እንመለከታለን። ኳሷን ተቆጣጥረው እንደምታዩት የፈለገውን ውሳኔ መወሰን ያስችለዋል ማለት ነው።
Outside of foot. Outside edge of your foot. This will allow you to control the ball without breaking stride. Slide control. Today, bend your knee and slide on the outside of that leg to reach the ball. Today, pass to the correct foot. When you're passing to a teammate in a game, ideally you should think about and choose which foot you're going to pass to. Pass the ball in front of your teammate. This one is pretty simple. When you're on the attack and your teammate has space, in general you should pass the ball in front of them. For example, in this situation, if you pass the ball to where your teammate is now, the ball will end up being behind them and ruin the play. But if you pass the ball slightly in front of them, you can keep the attack moving forward. Pass to feet. Of course, you shouldn't always pass the ball in front. Sometimes you need to pass the ball directly to your teammate's feet. For example, here, if you pass the ball in front of your teammate, the defender could potentially get a foot on it. But if you pass the ball directly to your teammate's foot, that can touch it past the defender. Pass with the outside of your foot. It's important to learn to pass with the outside of your foot as well, because sometimes the situation demands it. For example, in this situation, the ball has to be played now, before your teammate runs offside. So there's no time to switch the ball to your other foot. But if you use the outside of your foot, you can play that pass instantly.
ከእግር ኳስ ክህሎቶች መካከል የሆነው ማቀበል ሲሆን እንደምታዩት በግራ እግሩ ሚዛኑን ጠብቆ ኳሷን በውስጥ እግሩ በመምታት ወደሚፈልገው ቦታ ያደርሳል።
Where you use the inside of your foot. Point your plant foot toward your target. And strike straight through the center of the ball. And how do you master it? Once again, you practice over and over and over again.
ረዣዥም ከርቀት በልግ ወይንም በከፍተኛ ኃይል የተመቱ ኳሶችና ወደ ግብነት የተቀየሩ በዓለም አቀፍ ደረጃ ዕውቅናና ተከታዮችን ማፍራት የቻለው በፖርቹጋሉ ኮከብ በክሪስቲያኖ ሮናልዶ የተከወኑ ልዩ የሆነ እንቅስቃሴ የሚታይበት ራቅ ባሉ ሜትሮች የተመቱ የልግ ችሎታዎች፣ የኳስ አገፋፍ፣ ልዩ የሆኑ የሰውነት እንቅስቃሴ የሚታይበት ነው። እንመልከት።
Sensational finish! Because Cristiano Ronaldo is bursting through and invariably doesn't miss opportunities like that.
Ronaldo once again looking to pop up and hurl a shot in. My goodness! Cristiano Ronaldo, first player in history to score an all.
Cross looking for Cristiano on his right. Cristiano! The drought is over. Cristiano Ronaldo, 324
options left and right. Cristiano Ronaldo though goes for goal and finds it spectacularly.
Fred turning it round to Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo, who goes for goal. Oh, and what a goal from Cristiano Ronaldo. His third.
Ronaldo to hit it. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We are witnessing an exhibition.
Ronaldo. Why not have a go? He has done. Oh my word, what a goal! Cristiano Ronaldo returns to Portugal. Too far for Ronaldo to think about it. Oh! Absolutely sensational! He went through Almunia, beaten for pace.
Chest. The word to soften the impact. Outside of foot. And the leg. When you're receiving behind your leg. Then use the inside of that foot to control the ball.
In this video, you will learn the basic volleyball rules. Volleyball is played on a rectangular field of 18 by 9 meters, surrounded by an unobstructed area. It is divided in two by a net and has a front zone of 3 meters width on each side of the net. The height of the net is 2.43 meters for men and 2.24 meters for women. Two antennae, or rods, are attached to the net above the sidelines. The rods pass 80 centimeters vertically up from the sidelines and mark the boundaries for where the ball can be played. To play, two teams of 6 players rally the ball to each other over the net between the rods. The ball can touch the net during its passage. The net. A team scores a point in 2 instances: when the ball hits the ground on the opponent's side of the court, or when a team is unable to return the ball or commits a foul. To learn more, Watch our video on the basic fouls. Each game begins with a serve hit with the hand. The team which receives the ball is entitled to 3 touches with the ball before sending it back. All parts of the body can be used. A single player does not have the right to touch the ball twice in a row. If the team which served wins the point, they keep the same server. If the receiving team wins the point, it wins the serve, and its players rotate clockwise. To learn more, watch our video titled Knowing the Zones, Positions and Roles of Players. You're now familiar with the basic rules.
የቮሊቦል የመጀመሪያ ስም ሚንቶኔት ነበር። ነገር ግን ቮሊቦል የሚለው ስም ብዙም ሳይቆይ ተቀባይነት አግኝቷል። የቮሊቦል ኳስ ታሪክ በቮሊቦል ውስጥ ጥቅም ላይ የሚውለው ኳስ ከቴኒስ ኳስ ትንሽ ትልቅ መሆን ነበረበት፣ ነገር ግን ከቅርጫት ኳስ ቀላል መሆን ነበረበት። በመረቡ ላይ በቀላሉ ሊጣል የሚችል ቀላል የቆዳ ኳስ ተፈጠረ። መረብ በቮሊቦል ታሪክ ውስጥ ዊሊያም ሞርጋን የተጣራ ስፖርትን ሐሳብ በተመለከተ ከቴኒስ ተነሳሽነት አግኝቷል፣ ነገር ግን መረቡ ከቴኒስ መረብ ከፍ ብሎ ተቀምጧል። የቮሊቦል ሕጎች ታሪክ በ1912 በቮሊቦል ቡድን ውስጥ የተጫዋቾች ቁጥር 6 ነበር። ይህም አሁን ካለው ቁጥር ጋር ተመሳሳይ ነው። ኳሷን ለመሰረብ የሚተካኩት ወይንም የዙር ሥርዓት በተመሳሳይ ጊዜ ተተግብሯል።
Volleyball. The original name of volleyball was mintonet, but the name volleyball was soon adopted. The net in the history of volleyball. William Morgan got his inspiration from tennis regarding the idea of a net sport. However, with the net positioned higher than the tennis net. History of the volleyball ball. The volleyball had to be somewhat bigger than a tennis ball but lighter than a basketball. A light leather ball that could be easily thrown over the net was then created. History of the volleyball rules. In 1912, the number of players in a volleyball team was 6, which is the same as the current number. The rotation system of the servers was also implemented concurrently. What are the fundamentals of volleyball? The fundamentals of volleyball are the serve or service, the reception or pass, the set, the attack, the block, and the defense. Serving techniques in volleyball. The serve or service is the action that puts the ball in play. A well-performed serve is one that makes it difficult for the opposing team to receive, pass. Execution of the underhand serve in volleyball. Execution of the overhand serve in volleyball. Execution of the jump serve in volleyball. Another example of execution of the jump serve in volleyball. Techniques of reception or passing in volleyball. Reception or pass is the action of receiving the opponent's serve and passing the ball to the team's setter. The most used technique in the reception or pass is the bump. It's important to note that the ball should be hit with the forearms during the execution of the bump. Setting techniques in volleyball. The set is usually the second of the 3 allowed hits that each team has. The goal of the set is to put the ball next to the net, so that a fellow player may execute an attack. The setting technique most commonly used is the set or volley. Let's see another example of set using set or volley. Attacking techniques in volleyball. The attack is, mostly, the third allowed touch in the ball that each team has. The most used technique for attacking is the spike. The spike is performed by jumping and hitting, while in the air, the ball downwards with the palm of the hand with as much force as possible. Blocking techniques in volleyball. The block is the first defensive playing action of a team. Its goal is to block the opponent's attack and send the ball back to the opponent's court. The block may be a single block, performed by only one blocker, a double block, performed by two blockers, or a triple block, performed by three blockers. Defensive techniques in volleyball. The defense is a basic skill that may be performed with any body part, including the feet. The goal of the defense is to prevent the success of the opposing team's attack. What are the volleyball player positions? The setter, the middle blocker or middle hitter, the outside hitter, the opposite hitter, the libero. The setter in volleyball. The setter in volleyball is the brains of a team because he or she is responsible for defining the attacking playing action. Setter's techniques. The main technique performed by the setter is the setter volley. Volleyball setter in action. The middle blocker or middle hitter in volleyball. The middle blocker, also called center, middle hitter, is the player positioned at the center of the net, or the attack zone, position 3. Middle blocker's techniques. The middle blocker is specialized in blocks. The middle blocker in the attack. In the offensive play, the middle blocker is responsible for the quick attacks at the center of the net. Outside hitter in volleyball. The outside hitter is an attacking player that attacks mainly in position 4, attack in the left side of the front court. The outside hitter in the defense. The outside hitter in the defense zone is a good passer and part of the serve reception row along with the libero. The outside hitter may play attacking balls at the backcourt, jumping from before the attack line or 10-foot or 3-meter line. The opposite hitter. The opposite hitter is an attacker specialized in attack in position 2, on the right side. The term opposite is linked to the fact that this player is positioned opposite to the setter, which makes it easier for him or her to receive the greatest number of balls to attack. Position of the opposite hitter in the defense. The opposite does not take part in the reception of the service. He or she must be positioned in position 1 when his or her team is under attack. The opposite hitter in action. The libero in volleyball. The libero is a defensive specialist, specialized in passing and defense. Libero's limitations. The libero may not attack when the ball is above the upper edge of the net. He or she may not block or attempt to block. The libero wears a different colored jersey than the rest of the team. What is the volleyball court size? The volleyball court is a rectangle and is 18 meters, 59 feet, long and 9 meters, 29.5 feet wide. The lines on the court are 5 centimeters, 2 inches wide. What is the volleyball net height? The height of the women's volleyball net is 2.24 meters, 7.35 feet, and the height of the men's volleyball net is 2.43 meters, 7.97 feet. The posts are 2.55 meters, 8.35 feet, high and are placed 0.5 meters, 1.7 feet, to 1 meter, 3.3 feet, outside the sidelines of the court. The volleyball net is 1 meter, 3.3 feet, wide and 9.50 meters, 31.2 feet, to 10 meters, 32.8 feet, long. How many players are there in a volleyball team? A complete volleyball team has 12 players, with 6 players on court. How many sets are there in a volleyball match? A volleyball match has a minimum of 3 sets and a maximum of 5 sets. The team which first scores 25 points, with a difference of 2 points with respect to the other team, wins a set. If the game is tied at 24-24, the set will continue beyond 25 points, until one of the teams builds a 2-point lead over the other and wins the set. The team who first wins 3 sets, wins the match. In the event of a tie at 2 sets each team, a 15-point tiebreak set is played. The team that first scores 15 points, with a 2-point lead over the opposing team, wins both the tiebreak set and the match. Positions and rotation in volleyball. 3 players must be positioned in the attack zone or front zone, position 4, at the left side of the net, position 3, at the center of the net, position 2, at the right side of the net, and 3 players must occupy the back zone of the court. Position 5, at the left side of the backcourt, position 6, at the center of the backcourt, and position 1, at the right side of the backcourt. Rotation in volleyball. The order of rotation in volleyball is defined by the team's starting lineup in each set. When the team that is receiving the serve wins the rally, it gains the right to serve, and its players must rotate 1 position clockwise. The player that was in position 2 goes to position 1. The player that was in position 1 goes to position 6. The player that was in position 6 goes to position 5, and so forth, until all of the players have advanced 1 position clockwise. Important note: the player that occupied position 2 and advanced to position 1 will, necessarily, be responsible for the serve that follows. Hits by the team. A team may touch the ball up to 3 times before sending it back to the opposing team. At blocking, the touch does not count as a touch by the team. Double contact fault in volleyball. A player may not hit the ball twice in succession. At blocking, the touch does not count as the first touch by the player. Ball carrying, extended contact in volleyball. It is not allowed to push or throw the ball, it must be rebound or hit. Penetration above the net in volleyball. Only during the action of blocking it is permitted to penetrate into the opponent's court above the net. Penetration under the net in volleyball. It is permitted to penetrate into the opponent's court under the net in the following situations: without interfering in the opponent's play, maintaining part of the feet on or above the central line of the court, contact with the volleyball net. Contact with the net by a player, between the antennae, is always considered a fault, if it occurs during a playing action. When the ball touches the net and causes it to touch a player, it is not considered a fault. Touching the posts, the ropes that hold the net or the net itself is not considered a fault if it is done outside the limits of the antennae.
Once we have learned fundamentals of basketball, it's time to learn about faults and violations. Okay, so let's get started. And first we'll talk about violations. Double dribble. There are 3 things you should put in your mind about double dribbles. While you are playing basketball, you cannot hold the ball unless and until you are either giving pass or you are shooting. Okay, let me repeat. Suppose you are playing basketball. Okay, now you can't stop the ball and again dribble. This is called double dribble. So when you are dribbling, your mind should be telling you, okay, I'm dribbling the ball, I shall stop only when I'm ready to either give pass or shoot. Otherwise, I'm not going to stop the ball. Because if I stop the ball, and if I can't give pass or if I can't shoot, and if I dribble, then it's double dribble. It's a violations. Okay? So this is the first thing. Second thing is, you can never dribble the ball with two hands. Like this, you can't, you know, like never dribble the ball with two hands. This is called double dribble. You're not allowed to do that in basketball. Now, let's talk about walking or traveling violation. You have to remember two things when it comes to walking or traveling violation. First thing is you cannot move even a one step without dribbling. Let me show what I mean. For example, you got ball. This is walking or traveling violations. You cannot move, you cannot take even a one step without dribbling. If you dribble the ball, you are allowed to walk anywhere in the court. Yeah, because basketball is a dribbling game, it's not a walking game. So whenever you get the ball, you dribble. You can't take one step and dribble. That's violation. That's called a traveling violation. Now, next thing is, whenever you are standing in the court, one leg is always a pivot leg. It's called pivot leg. And what pivot leg does is it allows you to move in a circular way around the court. In the court, sorry. Okay? One leg is always a pivot leg, and I cannot move that pivot leg before dribbling. For example, this is pivot leg. Okay? Now, if I just move this and dribble, then that's again traveling violation. So, two things. First thing is you cannot take more than a one step when you are not dribbling. Second is you cannot move your pivot leg before dribbling. Now, carrying violation. See, whenever you are dribbling, your hand should always be on the top of the ball. But as a beginner, what I used to do is dribble and put my hand under the ball like this. And this is called carrying violations. Okay? We are not allowed to dribble the ball by putting our hand under the ball. So you see, this is carrying, because you're putting your hand under the ball and you're dribbling. Under and dribbling. You're like rolling the ball. This is carrying violations. When you're dribbling, your hands should be on the top of the ball. Always on the top. Can be a little bit side, but can't be under. That's carrying violations. And now, let's talk about backcourt violation. This is applied only when you are playing full court. And what happens, what this rule tells is, whenever you or your team takes the ball and goes beyond mid-court line or half-court line, you cannot come back. For example, you are dribbling the ball, you're playing full court, you're dribbling the ball, you just cross the mid-court line or half-court line, and there is a lot of pressure, or defender is coming. You cannot go back to your court once you have crossed the mid-court line. If you do that, it's called backcourt violations or half-court violations. Very simple. And finally,
in this video, you will learn how to avoid committing fouls in basketball. Penalties for a foul can be a turnover or one or more free throws. In basketball, there are two types of fouls: personal fouls and fouls related to unsporting behavior. First, personal fouls. Any violation committed when a player blocks, holds, pushes, charges, or grabs an opponent is counted as a personal foul. In defense, to avoid committing a foul, you have to block your opponent with a chest and stance. The defender can move backwards or to the sides but cannot deliberately run at the opponent to make contact. Any contact with the arms, shoulders, hips, or knees can lead to a defensive foul and a penalty. While in possession of the ball, a player in attack can be sanctioned for charging if they try to push past the defender already in position. As a general rule, it is the player defending or attacking who approaches the opponent who is penalized for committing a foul. If a player commits 5 fouls, they are excluded from the game. When a foul is called, if the player isn't in the process of shooting, the ball is turned over to the other team. However, if the player is shooting at the basket when the foul is called, they will be granted free throws. There are 2 possible cases. If the shot misses, the player is granted 2 or 3 free throws depending on the value of the attempted shot. If the shot is scored, the points are granted and the player is granted 1 free throw. If a team commits 4 fouls during the same quarter, each new foul will be penalized by 2 free throws. Secondly, fouls related to unsporting behavior. If a player is making rough or excessive contact, the referee can call a foul for unsporting behavior. If a player commits 2 of these fouls during a game, they will be sent off for the rest of the game. The referee can also call a technical foul, in case of illegal gamesmanship or dispute, for instance, or can directly exclude a player for an unsporting gesture that is clearly deliberate. All of these fouls are penalized with 1 or more free throws, followed by a turnover for the opponent. During games, be careful to avoid committing fouls as there can be heavy penalties for your team. Over to you.
Hello and welcome. Today I am going to discuss about measurements of handball court. So let's get started. Sidelines are 40 meter long and goal lines are 20 meter long. Center line divides the court into 2 equal halves. The goal is placed at the center of each goal line. These are 15 cm long lines known as goalkeeper's retaining line and 4 meters away from the inner edge of the goal line to the front edge of this line. These lines are parallel to the goal line. a 3-meter long line in front of each goal line and parallel to goal line. This line is 6 meters away from the goal line and it measured from the inner edge of the goal line to the front edge of this line. 2 quarter circle sectors, each with 6 meter radius, connect 3 meter line with outer goal line. The free throw line is a broken line drawn a 3 meter outside the goal area line. Segments of the line must be 15 cm. The space between them also 15 cm. This line is called 7-meter line and it is 1 meter long. This is parallel to the goal line and 7 meters away from it. It measured from the front edge of the 7-meter line to the inner edge of the goal line. Goal lines between two goal posts shall be 8 cm wide and all other lines shall be 5 cm wide. The rear side of the goal post must be in line with the rear edge of the goal line. Cross section of each crossbar and goal posts must be 8 cm wide. Distance between two posts inner edge must be 3 meter and height from playing surface to inner edge of the crossbar must be 2 meter. Goal posts and crossbars must be painted with 2 contrast colors band. All color bands must be 20 cm long and in the corner between posts and crossbar it must be 28 cm. The formation of the goal is completed by a frame which supports the nets. At the top part, it must be within 80 cm and 1 meter, and at the ground, it must be within 130 cm and 150 cm. That's all for today. Thank you.
I would pause the video and study them. The objective of the game is to keep possession of the ball and wait for the right opportunity to try and shoot in the opposing team's goal. To start, one of the teams will start with the ball in the middle of the pitch and throw it to one of their teammates. When we move with the ball, we are not allowed to take more than 3 steps. If we take more than 3 steps, we must dribble the ball. Players must also dribble the ball if they stay on the ball for longer than 3 seconds. To dribble the ball, we adopt a basketball dribbling technique and bounce down with the palm of our hand. As soon as you hold the ball, you can't dribble again. Otherwise, it's classed as a double dribble and the other team receives possession. We can pass the ball in a range of different ways. And the objective is to keep the ball until you find an opportunity to shoot. When you shoot, you must release the ball outside the opposition's goal area. You can land inside the opposition's goal area as long as you release it before. When defending, we're not allowed to use contact to get the ball off the other team. The only way we can win the ball is intercepting or the other team losing possession. A lot of the time in handball, the defending team will defend between the goal area and the 7-meter line. They will try and block a shot or wait for the other team to make a mistake. If the attacking team miss a shot, the goalkeeper will receive the ball and play from the goal area. If the attacking team throw the ball over the sideline, the defending team will play from wherever the ball is thrown out of play. Furthermore, defenders are not allowed inside their own area. If the defending team go inside their own area, the opposition will get a 7-meter penalty. When attacking, you have to avoid making contact with the other team. If you do, it's known as charging, and the other team will get possession of the ball from where the charge was made.
ስፖርት የዓለም ቋንቋ ነው። ስለተመለከታችሁ እናመሰግናለን።